guys, it's Monday on the turbo for a TT threshold session today. It's going to be a warm one. First session back after the break. We're back right after the break. See how my numbers are comparing to like 2 months ago, 10 or 12 weeks ago when I last did a TT threshold session on the turbo. Just doing it to feel, seeing what that sort of pace is. But you know, like 360 was what I was doing last time I did these sessions, so that or a bit higher would be nice. I'm feeling decent. Just did my 3 minutes of maximum fatigue test and it's warm, but felt all right. And legs are a little bit tired, but not too bad really. Normally I don't feel great for those. Continue spinning out, do a 15-minute tempo, then 40 minutes at threshold, good rebound session in the legs, and basically just zone 2 the rest of the week. Potentially do some aero testing on Thursday. I might do my zone 2 ride out to this place that I think would be good for it tomorrow. Check it out, see if it would be worthwhile, and then I can test the Met and the Rudy out on the road, see if I can tell a difference between them in the data. So that'll be a bit harder than zone 2 doing that testing session, more like tempo work. And then just getting ready for Sunday and relying on the fitness I've built up over the past few months. Should be good. Sweaty already. Also practicing taking from the bottle behind the saddle. I feel like having a larger bottle is probably a good idea because I can grab it a lot easier. A fair bit sticking out, but it's nice and secure in there. So I can just grab it from the top rather than like pinching the top of the bottle from a small bead on. I can take more fluids and then I'm not reliant on a bottle change, but I think it's looking like it's going to be warm, so I have to figure that out later on in the week. Right, had to call that one early, 30 minutes instead of 40. I'm just going to stick my head in the cold shower for a minute, cool down, because I'm dying in the heat today. Yeah, after getting heat rash last year, I mean, the heat rash I got last year, it just felt like it came out of nowhere, but a session like that, I felt like I was just dying in the heat. I mean, I use the core sensor, but the data from it's not too consistent, but it's saying I'm super high, 39 plus for an indoor session. It said 39.3, I think. And yes, it's not the data from the core sensor that's the worrying part. Is how I feel, because I've got my fans on max. I could just feel my skin just getting that itchiness. And with the core sensor, I can get to 30 during a time trial. I'll frequently get to 39.5 sort of thing. The highest I've ever seen is 40, but I feel absolutely fine during that. But yeah, getting 39 something indoors is really high, even if the core sensor's a bit out. It's matching up with how I'm feeling, and that did not feel nice. So yeah, I just came in here, splashed a bunch of water in my face, on my arms, milked back a bunch of water, and then just filled the sink. Literally just dipped my head in it. And yeah, just cool myself down immediately. I mean, that's literally the medical thing you do for if you're suffering from heat rash. You just knock back water and try and cool your skin temperature. But yeah, I'll get back on the bike and spin out for a little bit, but just top it up to like 2 hours, so another 10-15 minutes, zone 1 sort of thing. Because yeah, did not feel great there. Aiming for 40 minutes threshold, and first 10 minutes I felt really good, tapping away at 370, and then just as the effort got longer, I'm just like, I think it was mainly the heat that I was struggling with, but I've got 3 fans on max. Yes, it's warm, but I've got 3 fans on max. Generally I do quite well in the heat, so bit of a shock, but yeah, I just knew that, I mean, the power was just dropping, and I was gonna suffer to get to 40 minutes, but as soon as I started feeling that like itchy skin come through, and I checked the core temp and saw that was saying it was high, I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll get the last 2-3 minutes done to get to 30 minutes, at like similar sort of power to what I did 10 weeks ago, like 358, so just under 360, 357. Main thing is just, I think it's one session, don't just kill myself during that first session back. So yeah, take the ego check, just cut your losses for that sort of session. I was trying something new with I tried some bicarb, just straight bicarb, just in my bottle, essentially replacing my sodium. What I normally do is I put in my bottles, I put sugar water with a little bit of 50-50 sodium chloride, potassium chloride, just to get a bit of potassium in there, and then I'll top it up with sodium chloride. So I'll put a fair bit of salt in my bottle, maybe like 4 grams of salt for this sort of session. Sodium chloride, that'd be 23 to 35.5, probably like 30, just under 40%, like let's say 38% sodium for 4 grams. And then today I put bicarb, put 5 grams in, probably only the same as 6 grams of sodium chloride. Yeah, my skin was just so salty. It literally tasted like there was blood in my mouth. I thought I'd bit my tongue, but it was just the amount of salt that I was getting rid of was unreal. And I don't know if that's lack of heat adaptation, which would be surprising because I mean I took 4 days off and it was very hot one for the 50, and well, relatively hot one for the 50. We've had lots of hot weather, and generally I'm quite well heat adapted. So maybe it was just the additional sodium today that I was just my body was just like, well, extra heat, extra sodium, and I don't know, you'd think it would be the other way around, that you'd suffer in the heat because you don't have enough sodium, but for whatever reason, wasn't having a good time with it there today, so cooled off now, give myself a little bit more of a minute, knock back some more water, and then, like I say, just spin out the legs for another 15 minutes and then call it quits for today, and then get back on the bike tomorrow and get out for some zone 2 in the nice sunshine and work on my heat adaptation. Also did throw up in my mouth a tiny bit towards the end of the effort, and that is a rare one for me. I used to when I was younger throw up in like my cross countries, but I've not thrown up don't think I've ever thrown up in a cycling session, and I think that's just me reacting badly to the sodium. That's all I can think of. I think I've just taken a swig at the bottle. But yeah, at least the bottle behind the saddle works quite well. So yeah, I'll stick with that for Sunday. But yeah. All those fans blasting, and it wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough to save me. I'm planning on doing a fair bit of heat training this year, and everyone's doing heat training for like the good heat adaptations and like the blood marker stuff. But for me, it was mainly like, so I get to this time of year and then I don't get heat strokes, more build it up so you've got a good heat tolerance rather than going crazy with it to really boost performance. But talking to Simon at Team Bottrell basically decided that it's just not worth it for risking it with the heat stuff. I mean, you can always try and introduce it, maybe I'll introduce it this winter if I'm doing the track stuff more seriously, play around with it a bit next year, but kind of getting the basics right this year has been, I'm very happy with how I've been doing my training, and like I say, lower volume, but just consistent intensity, and adding in the heat on top of that might have overcomplicated it, made getting ill more likely, stuff like that. So yeah, I can't complain with the training I've done, but maybe, I mean, it's been hot a lot of this year and I don't feel like I've struggled in the heat. Like this is the first time where I'm like, whoa, I'm really suffering in the heat today. See how I turn around in the next few days, just getting out doing some riding in the sunshine, and hopefully that's enough to bring back my heat tolerance. Right, that'll do me. 2 hours total and core temperature's back under control. Not going to drink the cursed purple water anymore. Yeah, I used like a red cherry juice and obviously reacted with the bicarb and it went purple. Some acid neutralising the base. It looks like that water that Dumbledore has to drink, poison water. Get me away from that shit. CBA messing with bicarb. Hey guys, it's a lovely sunny Tuesday and I'm getting out for some zone 2 today. What I'm actually going to do is go to a place called Wombwell near Rotherham, and I think it's I I've spotted it as a potential candidate for some good aero testing. This abandoned road that's hopefully still in decent shape, and it's closed to cars, so there'll only be like walkers and cyclists on the road. So yeah, that'll be really good if it looks like a good location. And I'll head back out there later in the week to test the Rudy versus the Met. I think that'll be really useful before Sunday. But yeah, should be good. Get out on the old steed. Yeah, after 1,000 miles on the new Propel, my GP 5Ks are showing some wear. So I've been meaning to get back out on this bike. Just for zone 2 riding, like it's absolutely fine. Wear out the components on the rim brake bike, much easier to replace. Much cheaper tyres, and I've got a backlog of tyres that I can work through. So yeah, absolutely fine. Good to get out on this. Make sure I charge the Di2 and yeah, get out for a nice ride in the sunshine, and hopefully this testing location is as good as I'm hoping. Here we are, abandoned road. Very nice. Surface looks good as well. Came along that gravel and dirt track to get here. Messed it up. Like wanted to approach from the top, and then I'm like riding along the road, just like I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? So I took a off road and then did a bit of off-roading, did very slow on my skinny tyres. But yeah, on the road now, so I'll check it out, check out what's parking like at either end, and yeah, it might be a good testing location. The road's decent, surface is fine, a little bit gravelly in places, but not too bad really, and could even brush that. But yeah, main thing is there's a decent hill in the middle of it, which could make things more complicated. But yeah, I kind of like the road. But I don't know if it's worth driving all the way out here to do testing, or if I'm better off just continuing using the place at Bradfield that I've been using, which again has its limitations, but at least it's a lot closer. It's probably take half an hour to drive out here. Good to have a look at, but not sure if it's going to be worth coming out here to do testing, to be honest. But we'll see. The right hand side's definitely better. Decent ride that. Going east is always interesting because you just stop start constantly, and I'm like rush hour traffic is apparently 4:45 on a Tuesday. But yeah, made it all alright, and yeah, it just means you can't keep constant on the pedal, so the average power is low, but still got 2 hours 40 minutes in. So thinking about the test location, if I'm going to drive out somewhere, I'd probably go to Hatfield, like the Doncaster 10-miler course. Even though it's open road, just get a 10-miler in, try and stick at a constant power, and then do another run. So might do that on Thursday. Go out to Hatfield, do like 4 runs of the 10-miler course, like AB fashion. So do the Met, then the Rudy, the Met, the Rudy. That might be good. Maybe just like bang on 300 watts. Try and work on my pacing. Yeah, that'll be good. Morning guys, bit of an interesting one. Actually heading out to Hatfield, so like the Doncaster 10-miler course that I did last year, and I'm going to do my aero testing on that. Just do 4 runs of this 10-miler course, AB fashion. So testing the Rudy versus the Met helmet, and yeah, see if I get some data. I mean, I checked out that site on Tuesday, and it looks decent, but the hill in the middle, I feel like that would mess up, make having repeatable runs very difficult. So decided that if I'm going to go somewhere, then might as well go a little bit further and go to this 10-miler course. And I don't know what traffic's going to be like on the course at the moment. Hopefully it's relatively calm, but I imagine traffic flow will be similar between the runs. And yeah, because it's a good long 10 mile of flat road, hopefully it'll be able to notice some differences. So probably do my 4 runs at like 300 watts, so like lowish tempo, I guess. We'll get out there and see how it is. It's bloody boiling already. It's gonna be a warm one. I've arrived. Time to crack on and do some testing. Of course, there's some temporary traffic lights just before the roundabout, but I just turned around there when it was red for us. Yeah, Yeah, I felt like my front disc brake was rubbing, it was chinking away. Maybe it was just the heat, because it seemed to chill out after on the way back. But yeah, I got that first one done like I was aiming for, about 300 watts. Probably like 40, probably a bit under 45, maybe like 44k an hour sort of thing. Change helmets now and get out for another run. Bit of a faff this, isn't it? It's super busy as well, so I don't know if it's going to be the most useful testing, but we'll see if I get some evidence that one helmet's faster or slower. That's 2, so I'll go back to the Rudy now. That's me done. Just 4 runs. They did open up the roadworks, finish the roadworks by the end, but I mean, I was doing my runs at they were like 7.5k or something, so just stuck with that. And yeah, shoulders were getting a bit tired by the last one, so yeah, A B, and have a look at the data, see if there's anything meaningful from it or not. But yeah, good to spend some good time out on the bike. Can't really do this out in Sheffield just because it's so hilly. But yeah, just getting some good time in position, similar sort of roads to what I'll be having on Sunday for the National 100, like lumpier B roads, to get the shoulders warmed up for that. Fastest ever training ride by far, 41k an hour average. Not bad. But all behind the saddle works well. I can reach it while in the extensions, which is good. So yeah, just done the analysis of my runs, and yeah, they're actually quicker than I thought they were. I was saying they were like 44k an hour. They're more like 46. Took my averages to calculate like a baseline CDA, and then calculated like the relative CDA compared to that baseline, to try and see if the Met or the Rudy was faster. Now on the runs going south, it was pretty much a wash. There was pretty much no difference between the helmets. They were all very consistent CDAs. But then on the return leg going north, both runs with the Rudy were faster and both runs with the Met were slower. It was very still day, very fast day for it, 26 degrees. But yeah, and the speeds weren't too different between going south and going north. A bit slower going north in the slightly higher airspeed conditions. The Met performed worse. It was definitely it would have been a slight headwind going north. It's pretty much pancake. I didn't have to adjust for gradient, as it's pretty much flat the whole way. Nice to see that there was actually looks like there was some sort of difference between them. I just did my runs and I'm like, okay, I'll figure out how to crop them on the way after I get home, and looks like there is some consistent findings. Also, I think it's going to be the case with the long tail of the Met helmet, like as your position fatigues, it's more likely to be worse, whereas the Rudy, it's a lot more of a round bowling ball like helmet, so as your position fatigues, it's probably not going to doesn't get as worse. Obviously you want to maintain a good position, but it's not going to be as much as a drop off, but potentially. Tapping away, 2.5 hours, zone 2 in the 30-degree sunshine. No cloud cover today, baking hot. Hey guys, it's Saturday, just cracking on with an opener ride, and then we're heading to Cirencester in the evening, Cirencester, Chichester. So yeah, just doing my standard type opener ride, which is warm up, bit of a ramp, couple of sprints, some maximal fatigue tests, then do a 15-minute tempo. I mean, I did that for my warm up during the week when I did that threshold session where I kind of blew up. But yeah, a nice steady opener ride, just getting the legs moving again. Nice little session on Thursday doing the aero testing, pushing 300 watts for getting on like 80 minutes or so of work. And in position, working on the position. 3 minutes of maximal fatigue. Felt pretty rough for the first minute, but then second minute I kind of picked it up and felt much better. Absolutely dripping though, very warm. But it's going to be the same tomorrow, so gotta firm it, mate. So yeah, maybe RPE 8, time to exhaustion 10 minutes. But I did like 410 watts rather than 400. And yeah, felt better once I got going. I'll just do my TT tempo now, 15 minutes, 320 odd watts. Then hop off, get ready to head down south this evening. Early start tomorrow, 8:30 for me, so probably getting up at 5:30 for that, even though we'll stay very close to HQ. Jesus Christ. Longest 15 minutes of my life, that. Jesus. I mean, I did the same opener ride in the heat before the 50, and I didn't feel good for that. But that was rubbish. Jesus. Look how drenched I am. Jeez, man. Two fans on max. Clearly not enough. I've just like lost the ability to ride on the turbo. Like, I used to be able to get good sessions in on the turbo even in the heat. Obviously it's warmer up here than when I had the bike set up in the garage, but my word, like, we've had warm temperature for the past few months, and outside in the heat I've been absolutely fine. But yeah, trying to get a session done on the turbo, and it's just like, nope, not a chance. Ridiculous. Sweat out the toxins pre-race tomorrow, something like that. So you have to see how it goes. I'm sure I'll be absolutely fine. I'm sure I'll actually have a really good ride. Because yeah, I took my 4 days off, but the training I've done week and a half since that, feel like I'm getting back to feeling fit. Obviously don't feel good today, but won't be at 100%, but the residual fitness from the last few months of training, like, I'm going to be able to get around and produce good power. And yeah, it's going to be, I'm still more worried about the other factors of the saddle sores and the fatigue in position, like how achy your shoulders are going to get. So my plan is to just not go aggressive with the position, just kind of try and relax into a good position. Because if I'm cooked after the first hour, it's going to be a painful ride. So I just need to find my tempo, pushing decent power on the pedals, but nice and relaxed in position, relaxed in the saddle. Keep on top of the fluids, and yeah, should be a good ride. Looking forward to it as much as you can do for a 100-mile TT, 3.5 hours in the saddle. Woo! I'm cooked. Core sensor says I'm cooking. It's like, it was so hot for my rides where I did the aero testing in Donny on Thursday, and to be honest, felt absolutely fine. Yeah, it just feels like I've lost the ability to train indoors. Oh well, do my sessions outdoors for the rest of the season. If this weather keeps up, then I definitely will. 62.2 on Manchester Road, classic. Start list for the National 25 is looking stacked. Got Leon, got Matt Roster, like all the big dogs apart from John, I'd say. Most of the top 10 ranked riders. So yeah, should be a fun one. Fucking roundabout central, I think it's like 21 roundabouts you have to navigate. Changed the course like a week ago, 2.5 laps now. So many roundabouts. They'll just be waving you through, but I'll probably be like, my intuition is to like sit up a fair bit before the roundabout to like be able to come to a stop if needed. But they'll probably just be waving people through. I don't know, it's a bit weird. Can hear the electricity. Buzz. Is that a rat? I thought I saw a rat. Contaminated sand only. Hell yeah. 32 minutes till the start time. Really nervous, but you know, I've got half an hour now. Got to get ready, so ready as I'll ever be.
No, Tom, well done, Tom. Go, Tom. Go on, Tom. Come on, Tom! Last bit!
That was hard. My foot is very sore. I can't put weight on my foot. Yeah, we got around. It was pretty atrocious. Yeah, just with my training, it's like 100 miles is different gravy. Like, it took me about 3 hours 40 minutes. So even though I feel like the low hours are really good for me at the moment, I feel like you probably need them for an event this long. So yeah, my power, it wasn't like expected power based on the 50. I mean, the 50 was fantastic. So you'd expect off the 50 I could do like 340, 350 watts for this event, but you know, I started off at that 330 range, and then quickly realised that I was dropping below that, and just got round as best I could. Saddle sores, I mean, I knew I was going to suffer with it. So with it being a rolling course, like every time the hill would pitch up, even though it wasn't like a super steep hill, and like if it was just a 25 miler, you'd stay in the extensions for that sort of hill. I just knew I needed to change up the position, so I'd get into the base bar just to relieve pressure from the saddle, and then also get out the saddle just to give myself that little bit of a break. And I needed to do that because I mean, about an hour in, it was like, okay, the saddle sores are definitely here, but they weren't atrocious that that was really what set me back. I could tell my feet were hurting. I get this hot spot on my foot, especially my right foot, and yeah, by the end it was just, yeah, really. I mean, it was only after I stopped and I did my 50 watts back to HQ. I'm like, yeah, my foot is cooking. But yeah, Rob was my 3-minute man, and he caught me. And I could tell he was catching me because a couple of the roundabouts I'd see him, like I'd just exit the roundabout and he'd be coming onto it, and I'm like, okay. I checked his number at one point, and I was like, is he my 2-minute man, 3-minute man? And I was like, okay, he's 50. So with me being 47, it was like, I'm like, okay, when he catches me, he's 3 minutes ahead. But once he caught me, he was cooked as well. So we pretty much came in together to the line. I mean, he was ahead of me, but then I'd reclosed the gap to him. So Rob was about 3 minutes ahead of me. Jake did a decent time too. I think Dylan pulled out, but we should be good for the team prize. And I saw James Jenkins on the only other person who was predicted to be up there. There might be, I wouldn't be surprised if there's other people who have done a good time, but James Jenkins was also predicted to do well. And I saw his orange POC tempo on the first lap, but after that I didn't see the guy, so I don't know if he punctured or quite what. But even though I feel like that was a not so great ride from me, I wouldn't be surprised if it's third, but it's really whatever. Like, yeah, focus up for the 10 milers and the 25 milers for the rest of the season, because yeah, that's what my training's been tailored towards. But yeah, good to get round, and big thanks to Mum and Annie for supporting me from the side of the road. I'm like suffering, but then I'm just, every time I go past, I'm just like, puts a smile on my face. Just like, yeah, there's people playing tic-tac-toe on the side of the road, waiting for me to come past every 20 or 40 minutes. A bit longer than that. Right, try and get changed now. That's why I'm filming it.
Why are you filming it?
The YouTube looks like James Jenkins did finish, so maybe 4th? Who knows? Should have got the team prize. I think we were the only team with 3 riders, but you know, a win's a win. Another long wait with the results. But yeah, my feet are sort of, I can walk on my feet now, which is good.
And then Paul's here, and Paul's got the unenviable job of taking down all the signs. So just
from Team Mottral, it's Jake Sargent, Rob Francis and Thomas Lee. National 100-mile champion with a time of 3 hours 38 minutes and 4 seconds, the team motto is Jake Sargent. The 2025 National 100-mile champions.